We go. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so thrilled to have you all here, and mostly we're thrilled to have our speaker today. She's an absolutely amazing person, a friend whom I met many years ago when she was starting one of her businesses, but I want you to learn more about all of her businesses. So, as you know, we, the Nest Egg Builder, are a company who advises on commercial real estate. So when you are ready to invest in commercial real estate, we have several different sponsors we work with who have sent their deals to us, which we send out to you so you can vet out whatever it is you're looking for and then invest with them through us. So that's what we do. And I have this I like to read something that works with the speaker every week. And Desiree is just this amazing woman. And this comes under Be Thankful. This is out of our book, Choose Happy. Difficulties are opportunities to better things. They are stepping stones to greater experience. Perhaps someday you will be thankful for some temporary failure in a particular direction. When one door closes, another always opens. That's by somebody anonymous, but it sounds like something I would have written. So what could I say? So Desiree Dubois is Dubrow has been an entrepreneur since she was 12 years old. She has always been the founder owner of her businesses since such as the Marina Mermaid. I just love these. These are great. Models Media, Looking Good Productions, Celebrity Auctions, and Empowered Women. She has had a successful career in real estate since 1989 as an agent, broker, investor, and creator of seminar series entitled From Babies to Bills to Riches in Real Estate. She has experience in fix and flips, triple nets, multi-residential, notes, and short-term rentals. Since Desiree launched an Empowered Woman, intending to encourage women to invest in real estate, it is an exclusive global networking community and resource center for women professionals and entrepreneurs. An empowered woman coaches women in starting, fixing, and building their businesses with web, TV, and radio shows, masterminds, teleclasses, seminars, and unprecedented live events. You leave it to her. She covers everything. This is what's so wonderful about her. With its affiliate association worldwide, an Empowered Woman has grown to over 53,000 members and has access to over 1 million worldwide. In 2011, the Foundation of Empowered Women became a nonprofit. As a producer and publisher of Let's Talk Success, Desiree launched a digital magazine distributed in 11 countries and accessible to over 1 million viewers. Her work has never gone unnoticed. As an international speaker and supporter of women's causes, Desiree has been honored with one of Los Angeles Business Journal's Women Making a Difference Award, Bravo Awards, and NABO, and many others. Desiree launched Homework in 2017. Homework is where you can live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. We think this is great. This is when I met Desiree, and we talked about this extensively. I remember well, I was driving down the street. I think it was not on a freeway, but on a highway, and pulled off to the right and sat there for 45 minutes and talked to Desiree. And that was our first conversation. So think Airbnb meets WeWorks. This is an amazing, amazing company. Homework has recently partnered with Outsite Out, O-U-T-S-I-T-E company, the largest co-working, co-living management company with over 50 properties in 17 countries, over 5,000 members worldwide. Congratulations, this is wonderful. And with a heart for education, she and her husband, Gary, offer a masterclass called Syndication Simplified for those who want to become more educated and confident investors and learn how they build their real estate portfolio without any of their own money or credit. I think this is also pretty powerful. So today we have Desiree Dubois to talk to us about. Tell us what you're going to talk to us about.
Syndication simplified.
Oh, good. So we're talking about the syndications. That's great because so many people bring them in and they sometimes look so complicated. So please simplify. Take it away, my dear. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I am going to share my screen and so that I can show you some visuals along with my whoops, my conversation. And so I'm very curious as to have anyone on the line participated, either invested in a syndication or did a syndication? Patricia, Ted, Tim? Okay. Is this all brand new to you? Fantastic. Okay, great. Then I get to start from scratch. So as Peggy mentioned, I've been in real estate since 1989. And as a realtor and then as a broker and then an investor. And what you find is that the objective, a lot of people get involved in real estate, whether it's that capacity or not, they want to build their real estate portfolio. But many times they say they don't have the money or the credit. So if you're an investor or a realtor, or title officer, mortgage broker, or anyone that's familiar with the industry, this is perfect for you. Or if you want to build a real estate portfolio, whether for cash flow, for equity, for as a legacy, or just to be able to have something else additional working for you, this is perfect for you. So again, I won't repeat, but I'm the founder and CEO of Homework. And then I also work with my husband, who is the CFO, and he works during the day with Titleist. He designs golf clubs. So, but he's our mechanical engineer, and he also does our financials and our underwriting and things of that type. So what is a syndication? Does anyone know what a syndication is? Technically? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know
But
you.
define it anyway.
Absolutely. But syndication, real estate syndication involves bringing together a group of individuals, usually between 2 and 10, but sometimes as many as hundreds of them, of investors to pool their money together to purchase a property. That's all that it is. And many of people have done syndications without even knowing that's what they were doing. They get a group of people together and they buy a property. And then, but there's various types of syndications, including the real estate syndications, but there are also venture capital syndications. When I started Homework, so if you have like a company you want to start or a business opportunity, I syndicated it. So all the startup money, all the startup funds, was $250,000 was raised for that. People have also used syndications. We have a young lady that took this class in July, and she's syndicating a yacht. She wanted to buy a yacht, and she's getting people together, and they split the yacht and the time of the yacht, and they split the cost of the yacht. People syndicate race cars. The racehorse.
Yeah.
Anyway, was syndicated. So you can syndicate anything that you want to be able to acquire. And also there's media syndications among others. So a lot of us heard about shows that are syndicated. So again, it's involved in pooling funds together for multiple investors. Venture capital syndications means pulling together for high growth startups and businesses. So there's certain laws of real estate syndicating and the security laws. It's governed by the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commissions, and they're often considered securities and therefore subject to the laws. It's regulated by them and with 1933, but it requires all new private offerings to be registered with them before soliciting investor funding. It sounds more complicated than it is. You get an attorney, but you get an attorney that specializes in securities, not a business attorney, and they do all the filing and the paperwork for you. There's also different types. The two most popular types of syndications under the Regulation and Security Act is 506B and a 506C. So the difference is 506B, you do not need to be accredited, and I'll elaborate on that in a moment. But as the syndicator, the person that's bringing the people in, you need to have a pre-existing relationship with them. So there's a lot of controversy about what defining pre-existing relationship. Basically, what they say is that you need to kind of find out what that individual's investing tolerances and what their investing goals are, and it just can't be, just someone off the street. However, a 506C allows for general solicitation or advertising to an unlimited amount of accredited investors only. So that you can put in if you've gotten letters in the mail or emails in the mail or Facebook, social media, those are a 506C. So now the difference between accredited and a non-accredited. A accredited investor is a person that owns income, their income exceeds $200,000 a year as an individual, or as a married, $300,000. Or they have a net worth of $1 million, not including their primary residence. So and they anticipate that same amount of income for the last couple of years or the years ahead of us. But a non-accredited, and also referred to as a sophisticated investor, does not meet the accredited status. So if you don't meet that criteria, you're considered a non-accredited, or again, otherwise referred to as a sophisticated investor. So again, how you're registered depends on whether you can solicit to accredited or non-accredited. The 506B with a non-accredited investor could also have accredited investors as well, but they're limited to 35 investors, where the other one, there's no limit. The credit is no limit to it. So investors and limited partners, let's go through two different perspectives today. Investors are also referred to as limited partners, and these are the individuals who invest and they own a percentage of the real estate. They get all the benefits of property ownership, but they're not involved with acquiring the property, arranging the finance, or the day-to-day management. It's strictly, totally passive for them. Then the syndicator, or also referred to as a sponsor or a general partner, that's the person or the company that's in charge of finding the property, acquiring the property, and managing the real estate. They must have a history of real estate experience and the ability to underwrite and do the due diligence in the real estate. Now, a lot of people know how to do this because you do it if you've bought individually, invested individually. You've done a lot of this already yourself. But say, for example, you're saying, okay, well, I don't have that kind of experience, but I do have access to potential investors. You can bring people on your team. You can have as many GPs as you want, preferably no more than 4 or 5, because obviously the more you have, the more you're splitting the profits with. But, many times I see one person is good at financials, other person is good at, sourcing the properties and maintaining and managing them. Other person is good at marketing and working with the investors. So you create a team to be able to have a winning situation. So now let's put our investor hat on. As an investor, these are the reasons why you'd want to invest in a syndication. These are perfect for people who do not want to be hands-on. They don't want to deal with the tenants, tantrums, and toilets. They really, again, want a passive real estate experience. But the advantage is that you can actually have quite a variety or versatile portfolio. You can invest in multi-residential, commercial, industrial, storage units, hospitality, retail, student housing, retirement land, and a variety of different asset classes. So sometimes people say, okay, well, this gives me an opportunity to do a little of this, and a little of that, and a little of this, and diversify their portfolio, but kind of get to hedge themselves against any real estate changes. It also allows you to build passive income. Again, build and diversify your portfolio. You're able to leverage your resources. So the funds that you have, you're able to invest in more opportunities than just one. It's investing made simple. It's very simple. You fill out the paperwork and it's done. Many times you get chunk money when the property has a capital event, whether it's sold or refinancing, you get a percentage of the equity and allows you to pursue your dreams, and it kind of recession-proofs your future. I'm sorry. The really big thing that a lot of people don't realize is that it allows you to use retirement funds. Many people have retirement funds and 401ks or self-directed IRAs, and you can invest them without any tax penalties. So even people that work for the government, work for the government, that work for the military, all of those retirement funds. I'm sorry. Read through this 1 second. Let me just grab some water. I'm sorry. So that's very, very powerful, because we find that I think about at least 70% of our investors are utilizing their retirement funds. And many of them don't even realize they can do that without any tax consequences. So we have a whole seminar that we do that Gary does just on that, talking it all the way through. So say, for example, you're looking at an investment. This is just some numbers that was used from a previous project. But just to give you an idea of what you're going to be looking at when you look at presentations, they will usually have a pro forma and they go through the cap rate. So you'll have the property value, you have your net operating income, the profits. This particular project, the investors got 40% of the capital event. So their total amount was $850. On a $50,000 investment, you walked away with $90,000, over $90,000. On a $100,000 investment, you walked away with $185,000. That's at year 4. Many times at year 5, and you'll find that a lot of these investments are from 3 to 5 years for a couple reasons. One, allowing the sponsor to work with the market, the visiting market changes, whatever it is, it usually adjusts itself within that period of time. And then also for the time for them to season the property and being able to maximize the property. They can close earlier, but usually that's your maximum time. But it's very few investments. And this is the reason why people are taking their money out of their 401ks or retirement funds, because they're not able to double their money in 5 years. So that's again, and this is not unusual. Every situation will change and be different, but this is a common. This was another, they have all different type of structures. This particular one, they had 2 classes, Class A and Class B. Class A was more of a fixed return. So it was a total of, for $100,000, 16%. 8% was returned on a monthly dividend. And then the other 8% was a catch-up at a capital event. So the property sold or refinanced, they got the balance of the 8%. So if you went in with $100,000, year 4, 164. Year 5, 180. But it was a note. It was a confirmed fixed amount. Where Class B, the same $100,000 got a 7% annual return that was distributed monthly, but you got a percentage of the profits. They got 40% of the profits. No, I think it was 60% of the profits on that deal. So you shared in the equity and you got the fixed interest. So your total amount in year 4 was 183, and then your total amount was over 198, almost doubling your money in 5 years. So you'll hear some people say, okay, is it an equity base or is it a note base? These are things as an investor you should ask potential investment to see, how they have it structured. They can structure it a lot of different ways. But The bottom line is that it's perfect if you want something passive with consistent dividends. Sometimes they pay monthly, sometimes it's quarterly, sometimes annually, sometimes it's nothing until the capital event. But this way you can enjoy your freedom and flexibility to pursue your own dreams. Now, if anybody wants to win, it's, oh, this is a little break. Anyone wants to win a 3-day getaway in San Jose del Cabo, use your phones, your camera on your phones, and take this QR code. And it gives you the opportunity to put your first name, last name, and email address. We actually have a group going down on the 25th and 26th of next month to our properties, one of our properties. So take a minute and do that, and you may be the lucky winner. That looks beautiful. Okay, so now putting on the syndicator hat. If you wanted to be the syndicator, the sponsor, or the GP. What you're responsible for is acquiring the property, managing the property, and the capital event. And again, the capital event can be either refinancing or a sale. So the acquisition process, again, most of us, if you bought property, you know you're dealing with real estate agents, you research the properties, you underwrite them, see what the numbers are, you get the legal involved, you get investors, accounting, escrow, you hire a team if you need property managers and such, you do your inspections, turn on the utilities, renovations may be applicable, interior design, PR, and you launch it. And then for the management during the hold of the property, either you self-manage or you'll get asset managers, investor relations, you keep communicating with your investors, advertising, admin staff, accounting, legal, property managers, housekeepers, handyman, gardeners, pool service, fumigation, and maintenance. It just depends on what type of property you're going to have that you're going to need different services for. And then at the capital event, again, that either refinancing or the sale, you'll prep the property. If there's any construction things to be done or maintenance things you need to do, you'll do that. You'll acquire real estate agents, appraisals, inspections, disposition of any furnishings, handle the moving, the legal, and accounting. So it's nothing actually that's foreign or that's not out of what you usually do if you're a real estate investor, either for yourself or for other people. So as I mentioned to you earlier, that Homework, our company is a co-working, co-living, and we specialize in buying properties, remodeling them, and remarketing for digital nomads. So our motto is live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. And we started because it was capital intensive with a syndication where we just did a convertible promissory note. There's no dividends, there's no equity, there's no properties. It's just when the property sells, they will get paid a percentage on the money that was borrowed. What is co-working, co-living? Well, it's the practice of sharing living spaces by individuals to facilitate a collaborative and more flexible work style. So our properties, they have shared kitchens and dining areas. They have shared work areas, but also common areas, but they always have a private bedroom and bathroom. And the reason why we're so passionate about this, I'm sorry, passionate about this is because of the fact that co-working, co-living generates about 20% more than a multi-residential property. And here's a quick video of some of the properties that we've done. So that was the one that we did in San Diego, and this is the one that we've done in Cabo, San Jose del Cabo.
Wow. You were adding a couple bedrooms to that, right? And you were doing something on the roof, correct?
Did you hear the music?
Yeah, we did
Okay.
hear some music.
Okay, sorry,
Are you ready for Q&A?
Yes, I just want to show you though how you can make money as a syndicator, because some people say, okay, I do the syndications, how do I make money? And this is just, for example, if you found a deal and put a deal together, to say, for example, a $2 million deal, and you purchase and exit in 4 million in 4 years. If you're a realtor, you get the real estate commissions. If you do construction, you'll get a percentage of the construction cost. Usually those fees are between 1% and 5%. We use a very low fee. We use the 2% just for demonstration purposes. But when you find the property, acquisition fees at 2% would be 40,000. If you do the loan guarantor, sometimes people don't have credit that they can get on themselves and they get a loan guarantor. Some people just want to be a loan guarantor for different investments. That's another 2%. If your asset management fees, again, we just took a flat fee, a very low fee of $2,000 a month. Operational income, you take, that's funds that you get from the operation. The technology fee, these are fees, say, for example, that you pay for your website, for your internet, for your portals that you use for your investors and so forth. Your admin fee, if you have an administrative assistant, someone that puts your paperwork together, your interviews together and PowerPoints together. And then when you sell the property, either sell or refinance the property, you have a disposition fee. And in here, we have it again at 2%. Now the equity, remember we said that you get a percentage of the equity. Part of it goes to the investors and part goes to the syndicator. And I think at this example, it was 40%. So your portion would be $400,000. And so the total for doing this would be approximately 783. It's just, again, these are just round numbers to give you an idea of how you would do this. Because some people say, hey, I'm in real estate now, and I want to, a lot of realtors are saying, I want to phase out of the actual sales, especially in light of the commission structure right now. And I have contacts, I have access to real estate, and I have, people that know, like, and trust me, then this is something I would consider. Now, let's say, for example, your interest was not even just doing it for the money, but you wanted to build your portfolio. Like my husband and I, our goal is now we're building our retirement fund. So we want to build our portfolio of income generating assets. But instead of putting all of our money that we would have, which we wouldn't have enough to be able to buy everything we wanted, we invest in the projects along with investors. So this way, what you do instead of selling the property, you refinance the property. So again, the numbers are 2.5 million, 4-year hold, and you exit at 4 million. Again, if you're a realtor, you'll get the commissions coming and going. And if there's any construction, you get a percentage of the construction cost. Again, it could be anywhere from 1% to 5%. Just depends on what you're doing and what you're splitting with somebody. Again, the acquisition fees, 2%. Loan guarantor fee, asset management fee, just a little bit more, but again, it's a flat fee. You can take a percentage of flat fee. You can take whatever the profits are that's over the expenses. So there's a lot of different ways to structure it. Or you can take a technology fee, admin fee, a refinance fee, because there's a lot of work that gets involved in refinancing a property. So you can get free financing that. And so then you have your equity at that time, you put back into the property. And now you have a property that you own, and because you pay off the investors and you own the property and be able to build your portfolio from there. So again, it's a really great way for people that are trying to think of that exit plan. Like sky's the limit. You can do 1, you can do 2, you can do as many as your brain can handle, and you can do them as often as you want. And again, you can charge the fees. That's at 2%. Suppose it was 4%, then you'd be able to make even more. So you can definitely do with little or no capital or credit. You can build your real estate portfolio, you can build wealth, and you can leave a legacy. We have a program, and I won't play this video, but we have a program, a mastermind that we've created that, because I know our timing is getting close, that we do at our home. And we take a small group, it's about 6 people, and no more than 6. And we spend the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where we teach them all that it is to be a syndicator. But not just teach and listen, you actually find a deal, tell you how to find the deals, you underwrite a deal. We give you a template, you create a pitch deck for it, and then you actually pitch it to the group. And that's really, really, really powerful because, that makes a difference of someone doing it. And so this is where the real money is. And let's see. And this is me. So if you have any questions about syndications, we have the partnership that we've had with Outsite. We've just launched a $10 million fund. Because they're one of the largest co-working co-livings in the world, and they're looking for more properties. So with that fund, we are acquiring properties. We have 2 of them in escrow in Puerto Escondido, one in Miami and one in Joshua Tree. And we're anticipating getting 3 or 4 more with that fund. And we're paying anywhere quarterly. And people again are still, the target is to be able to double their money in 5 years. So anyone that's interested, then I'm more than happy to give you more information or invite you to a presentation we have on Thursday evening. If you're interested in learning more about syndication, then I'd be able to give you more details about that. And when our next classes are, we do them in person, but some people have, we have people fly from different ways. We're thinking about doing it virtually as well.
Great. Thank you so very, very much. Yeah, we've had some
I
people.
apologize for
Up.
the clock beating my voice. I apologize for that.
Well, who could help that? It just happens sometimes. Oh, we just talk too much, maybe. I do have one comment, just a comment to everyone who was listening to this. And when you showed the oh, why did that word just go out of my head? The pro forma,
Yes.
what was not there, and we advise everybody that we work with, and we would never invest on a pro forma ever, is you always need to look at the trailing 12. You need to know what the income and the expenses are. Then you need to also look at what any fix-up's going to be. If they're going to add capital, you need to look at what the capital is, where it's going to go, how much it costs for like how much for the appliances, how many appliances are they putting in, et cetera, and see, is that reasonable? Are they charging a reasonable amount? Because some people gouge it, and you just have to pay attention to that. And then there should, to me anyway, having done a lot of flips and fix ups, is I always put 25% in for a reserve, because stuff shows up that you didn't expect, and you've got to have reserves there. So when you're looking at the list of all the things that need to be done, you want to make sure that they've got a good reserve there. I've seen some do like a 6%, and I'm like, I don't think 6% is enough when you're building a multi-million-dollar property. I think you need to really have much more there, just to be careful. And you have it in reserves, and after you've built it and you still have those reserves, then you can put those reserves in to cover any of the rentals for those expenses that come in. So that's my
Absolutely.
comment.
And when we do our presentation decks, you'll see that it's a lot more line items.
Sure.
We do the reserves, we do the CapEx, we do the FF&E, which would be the furniture, fixtures, and equipment. We do all the breakdowns of all of that. And then we also have an investor portal called Invest Next. And that allows you to go in and look at every operating agreement, our PPMs, our signature agreement, subscription agreement. And that has every dollar that the person is bringing in. It tells you what you're going to spend it on, how much you're going to spend for reserves, how much you spend for salaries, how much you spend for, again, whether it's 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever your management fees are, and things like that. Absolutely. That's all that good information. This was just to give you, again, a brief high level.
Exactly. Yeah, no, this was a presentation about what you're doing. This wasn't a pitch for what you're doing. But yeah, you have a fund. You might send that fund to us along with your webinar that you're doing, and we'll send that out to everyone so they
Yeah.
can take a look.
Absolutely.
Be happy to do that.
Well, people are excited about that because most people post-pandemic know of somebody or themselves that are working remotely now. So before it was a lot of millennials and it was a lot of creatives, but now, like even some of our pictures we had to update it because there's mostly young people. But now we have a lot of professionals, HR, insurance, accountants, lots of engineers, because they can work remotely. A lot of graphics, science, doctors, attorneys. We have a couple of them that work at WebMD. So rather than stay home and work remotely, they're working on the beaches of Cabo or in the
San
city.
Diego.
All those other
Yeah,
lovely places.
I have a couple more questions, but I want to see, does anyone else have a question so far? Okay. Well, I do.
Good.
So you're working with this group called Outside.
Mhm.
Tell us how, so you still go out and find and do your own like with your fund. So you're still gonna buy, fix up, expand whatever you need to do to the property and run it under your WeWorks. But how does this work with outside?
So what was happening is that we were expanding to different properties in different cities. And the challenge was finding a property management company that was consistent to all those cities. We have one in Cabo, one in San Diego, one in Vegas. So it's all these different people. So you're constantly managing managers. So I found someone, and they weren't all in the co-working, co-living space.
Right.
That's important because it's a premium. People will pay more. They pay up to 20% more for a co-working, co-living room than they would if it's just an Airbnb, because of the fact that they have community, they have all the office space, that they don't have to go out to a WeWork or someplace else to pay to do. And then they have community, and we have events and things like that. So we were missing out on that extra premium. So Outside has been doing co-working, co-living since 2015, and they're
Hmm.
the largest in the world. So they already have over 50 properties in 17 different countries. And then they also have a huge membership base, over 5,000 members from 40 different countries. So any given time, we have people like 6 or 7 different languages at the same table because they're from all over. So we do the acquisitions, buy the property and the renovations, and then they do the booking and the management of the properties. So we know that they've got teams all over the world. They're consistent. They have branding. They have styling. Like some of the properties are going to have to be remodeled, not remodeled, but refurnished, because they have a certain style that they do, branding they do, and they've been around for a long time. And they only do co-working, co-living. So, with that market growing, we're able to accommodate it. And we just weren't able by ourselves be able to scale the way we wanted to scale. So we're responsible for acquiring properties in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. That's our initial.
So where in the I know you're doing Joshua Tree, and where were the others that you're
Two of them, Puerto Escondido, which is in Mexico, and then Todos Santos, we're doing some due diligence on that. We're doing due diligence in Miami Beach, South Beach in Miami, and then Vegas.
Miami
So
Beach? Okay. All right. Do you have any like in the future where you might be? I'm asking because I'm traveling. So when I travel, I like to look
well,
for
yeah, no,
just
well, first of all, Outside has, they have an app, so they have outside.co. But just let me know where you're going. But right now, those are the only ones that are open. The other ones we're just doing, waiting for licenses, waiting for inspections, waiting for appraisals, we're doing the due diligence, so they haven't closed escrows yet.
what kind of licenses do you need?
Joshua Tree, you need a license, a CPU license, campgrounds. You need a license. Like some of them say they have a license for a hotel. But most of our properties are boutique hotels, because that way we don't have any concerns about the short-term rental market, changing, or the rules or the zoning changing. So they said they had a hotel license, but it's not active. So, because its property has been discarded for a while. So we're
Okay.
waiting for them to, and they down there, they meet once a month, and they look and they ask a question and they come to a stop, and then they say, oh, we need to find out this. So they go for us. So we have to wait for the next meeting, the next month, to get the answer to that question. So some things they're requiring now, like a fire hydrant, because of we're building on the property. So there's things of that type of making sure that we're doing all that due diligence that you talked about, before we get into escrow. And that way, before we commit the money.
And do you have a minimum on your fund?
Yes, $50,000.
50, and is this for accredited only?
No, it's for both. We're doing 506B for credit and non-accredited to start. And
Okay.
once we feel that we've maximized our communities, then we can convert it to a 506C with the accredited only. Because then
Okay.
whatever we don't have, whatever we have left to fill, then we can go out and advertise it and promote it openly.
You're looking at Florida. I might have somebody sent me a whole list of stuff. I'll look through to see if there's anything that might fit what you're doing. You might want to at least take a look at it. Like that. And do you have any other particular areas you're thinking about looking?
Well, Outside did a poll among their members, and they got the most popular areas that they wanted in the United States and then in
Hmm.
Europe areas. So Seattle, Vegas, Miami, Canada, New York, of course, it's very popular. Denver, Colorado. So we do our acquisitions in trenches and quarters. So the first quarter, we just launched this in June, basically June. So this second quarter, this quarter now, September through the end of the year. So in this quarter, we're going to acquire the 2 properties in Puerto Escondido and do the diligence on the others. The next quarter, we can bring on another 2 properties. We're not going to unload a lot of properties at one time.
Right.
We're
Yeah, no,
staggering
good.
them, yeah, so that we can have time to get them up and get them running, work out any kinks, raise the funds and so forth. So we're kind of staggering them in that way. So
Do you
that's
have to open a second fund or how's,
they're pretty good. We got these 2 boutique. We buy really well. That's
yeah,
another reason why we don't move fast, because it's hard to find those good deals. Like, for example, the one in Cabo, we bought, we saw where it was right there on the beach, and it was a woman unfortunately passed away from COVID. And so, she was 80 in her 80s, and other family members didn't want the property. So we got it for 1.2. Well, it has 6 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condos in it. To find a beach property like that for 12 bedrooms and 12 baths and a pool, and that room was a restaurant that we converted to a co-working lounge, and we built out the rooftop and we redid the units. So there was a unit, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, further back away from the water, that sold in 8 days for $485,000. 1-bedroom, 1-bath. So even if we were going to evaluate our property at $500,000 a unit, that's $3 million right there. So we bought it, so now we know the value, and then that's not including any capital the
right.
caps, because now we created an income generating asset. Before, it was mostly they used it for their second homes when they went down there. So we buy the ones in Puerto Escondido, getting 2 boutique hotels for 1.5. And that has a room to add, there's 13 rooms total combined, and we have ability to bring it to 20 rooms combined. And the way that it's structured, to bring the rooms, that's only going to cost us $120,000 more to bring that value up. So, you buy the properties when we know that you can have value add.
Sure.
And, and so
Full
we're looking between 5 and 7 properties. The most expensive ones are like in Miami, and
Right.
property in Miami. So
And
probably
no one wanted Fort Lauderdale, huh?
they didn't want Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is a lot more accessible, and they wanted Hawaii as well, which again is high. So you have to get like a hotel in Hawaii because they are very strict on the short-term rentals. So
Right.
so it has to be a SRO, single room occupancy license. And that's one of the licenses. The ones we have now are SRO license, because that means they can be a bed and breakfast, a hostel, a boutique hotel, a rooming house, boarding house, but they have to have an SRO license.
SRO, and that's standard throughout the US.
Yes, single room occupancy.
Okay, got it. I'm asking because there are things that do show up. People send me stuff all the time. We don't have anything to do with them. We want to pass them on to somebody who would like them.
Absolutely.
Dealing with whatever real estate agent that is.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they never quite understand what we do, so they send us deals. We look, we forward them to people we think will be interested in them, and then they can choose to call the real estate agent if they really have interest or not. Like that. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna be in Orlando for a week and a half, so I'll check.
And there's some areas where there's an offer we can't refuse. You can always revisit that, because, these are just the top areas, that
Sure.
we're, but, there's people that are traveling and working all different areas.
Of course. Of
So,
course. And there were several meetings in Orlando this year. I'm not attending them, but I see a lot of meetings. I'm like, oh, wow, that was in Orlando. I know there's something coming up in Orlando at the end of October. Like, oh, okay, well, I will be there in September, not October. So not flying out again in a month. And I'm not staying for the month like that. So yeah, so there's all kinds of things that happen. And of course, you've got Disney and Universal, and I don't even know what all. I haven't been to Orlando in, God, I don't know, 30 years maybe, close
mhm.
to. So
So Tim, just so to get some feedback from everyone. So is this something that is new to you, or are you involved in real estate currently?
So this is totally new to me. I finally figured out how it got connected to this thing. You guys had Harlan Acola on the phone on the call a couple weeks
Reverse,
back
right?
regarding reverse mortgages and using the funds from a reverse mortgage and possibly using that to finance, other investment properties, I guess. So, but this is totally new to me. I'm glad I jumped on the call. It's very interesting to me, and
Right.
looking forward to learning more about it.
So I did a reverse mortgage with
Okay.
Harlan's group. And as soon as as soon as we closed, they gave me some money and I took that and I invested it in a project.
Okay.
Then a year later, they told me I could take some more out if I wanted. So I'm all about taking all the equity out of my house. What do I care about the equity? When I pass, nobody wants this house. If somebody's going to come and bulldoze it down. It was built in 1950.
Well, because
But it's on a
you
third of an
use
acre.
those funds to build wealth elsewhere.
Right,
Exactly.
I invested only in real estate. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And I have a Roth IRA. I use my Roth IRA, but when it comes out of your house, it's a personal, so it comes out of my trust. So my
Right. Right.
trust does the investment.
Yeah. That's
And then if
awesome.
I want to add to my Roth IRA, I can use that money to add to my Roth IRA. You're limited on what you can put in, and then you can take that and invest that tax-free
Yep.
tax-free on the yeah, so you can't get taxed on the borrowed money. So that's tax-free. And then you can put some of it in your Roth IRA and whatever that invests in is tax-free. So,
Yeah.
we're all about teaching how to do tax-free stuff. And if you have and you could also take money and fund an insurance policy, whole life insurance policy, which again is tax-free. Plus it compounds and all the money it makes in it is tax-free. And you could borrow money against your account and invest that in real estate, but you have to pay capital gains on that. So
But it's knowing the system, right? It's all
it's
this
not a
knowledge.
system, right? So you could actually borrow money against if you overfunded, let's say you put 120,000 into a whole life policy from your reverse mortgage. Now you could borrow, let's say 100,000 of that you borrow against, you don't take it out of. So it's still earning at, we'll say 5%, while you've got that money working with Desiree and hers, and in 5 years you get your two
Double.
times back. So now you're getting 200 back. You're going to owe taxes on the 100. So one of the things I was thinking was, okay, so you borrow 50 against your life insurance policy and 50 from your Roth IRA, and then you're only paying taxes on half of the gain.
It's the game, but you can do it. And
Yeah.
what about you, Ted? Has this been something new for you? What about how involved in real estate are you? Just curious what everyone's involved in.
You're still muted. There you go.
Yep. Trying to get unmuted here. Uh, let's say I'm familiar intellectually with what you're doing, but I'm not personally involved with it yet.
Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? Are you at that, stage where you want to build, like build more in your real estate portfolio, or what are you doing in real estate? Are you investing? Are you sales or?
My business is to act as let's say in the fractional CFO space for small companies.
Fantastic.
So it's the information that I have, let's say I'm gleaning is for use in advisory services to my clientele and maybe family.
Fantastic. Awesome.
Ted comes every week. Ethan shows up
Awesome.
on occasion, but he's usually on his phone doing 5 different things.
Wow.
Patricia shows
Great.
up. We do have people that show
Hey,
up.
I'm here. I'm listening.
How you
Yeah.
doing? So
Yay,
tell us, what are
hi.
your thoughts? What are your thoughts on it, Ethan? Ethan? Is it Ethan?
Ethan.
Yeah, I just came in toward the end. I saw the first part and I saw the last part. I knew there was a QR code that I didn't get to scan. So it was a little choppy for me because I
Oh,
wasn't able to stay the whole time.
put that QR code back. Okay,
There's
Ethan,
a
take a
QR code.
picture. I know you want to get away with your, are you going to take your kids with you or are you going to
Absolutely not. I'm leaving them behind. That's the whole point of the vacation.
get 5 of them?
And are you involved in real estate, Ethan?
I am. I'm a corporate and real estate attorney as well as a life insurance agent.
Mhm.
The deals I'm in, I mostly am a loan guarantor, so I signed on the loan. I think you mentioned that as a KP, and then sometimes I'll make very short-term loans to people that have an emergency need for like gap funding and things like that.
I'd love your information if you want, because, and I asked
Yeah,
because
it's in the
part of
yeah. I'll try to find you
our
on LinkedIn.
well, here, or you can just contact me directly. And the reason why I say that, sometimes the people that take our syndication classes, they're looking for loan guarantors or they're realtors and they're looking for someone and they don't know. So you can find me on LinkedIn, but if you want to just contact me directly, that would be awesome. And then that
Yeah,
way,
Yeah, how do I contact you directly?
it's Desiree at Homework. It's right here on the screen.
Okay, cool.
Just
Yeah.
email me, just to give you contact information because they always ask me, do you know of any? And it's like, well, I don't, some of them are max, they've already done as many notes that they can do, or are they different? So that's always good to know. Somebody. Desiree at Homework. And did I miss anyone? Who else was here? There was.
That's it. We had a few people on and they had to leave. So,
Perfect.
any other questions? We're at the top of the hour. Okay, thank you very much for coming and we'd love to have you come back again.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to call me.